You ever wonder why those streamers are dying in raid with the super juicy kits that are costing them a million, 2 million a kit, but they're dying every other raid and they're only making about 500-600k a raid? So how is it that they're able to keep affording these runs? Well, you're about to find out. There's a lot of really easy kits that you can use, and this is what they're using off stream. Not these exact kits obviously, but kits similar to it where they're going to run and try to make as much money as they can and still be able to have a chance in PvP fights. With these kits, a lot of them will come back to you with insurance because a lot of people aren't going to grab them. They're not kitted out guns and whatnot, or not enough to where people would want to take them. Not every time, but most of the time you're going to get your items back, plus keep what's in your alpha, beta, or gamma container, and ultimately leading you to earning more and more money. Hey, welcome back to another episode. This time we're going to go over some guns to use as you are trying to progress making money. Obviously, we all start with hardly anything, and when we're trying to learn the game, it's a lot easier to use a low-cost loadout. We're going to start with the SKS. There you can see the two rounds that we're going to be using, which is PS rounds and BP rounds. Now keep in mind that is only for this particular type of ammo. Other ammos like AK, the PS rounds are not very good at all. So here I would switch over, grab ourselves a mag, in this case the 20 rounders. They are phenomenal. There are higher mags, but I would just do the 20, grab 2, put it in the rig. If you can't afford 2, grab 1, throw 20 rounds of PS in your pocket there, and it will actually load it up individually. If you're really struggling, take off all that armor, grab yourself an FN pistol and a backpack, load it up with SB193 rounds, 20 in the chamber, extra clip if you feel like it's necessary, and you're good to go. And if you're really going budget, switch it down to the Glock, which is going to have your PSTGZH. You can even load your favorite round right in that chamber, in this case 7N31. Pretty amazing for your first engagement. After that, you're obviously not going to have it, so that one round has actually helped me out before, and I've killed people with just that round, so that's just an option. Next option here, which is the PSH. This one is actually pretty insane. The PPSH has incredible fire rate, and if you're using a high-end ammo, in this case PSTGZH again, it will just shred right through any type of armor and get right into them, dropping their HP extremely fast. So you can be in and out of an engagement within seconds. It's probably the best bang for your buck because the ammo's cheap, the gun's cheap. You can do a drum if you want to do a little bit of customization, but the rounds are 35 rounds, so they're plenty good enough. And overall, you're going to be spending around 20k for the ammo and the rounds and the gun. It's incredibly cheap. So this next one I struggled a bit with because I really don't like the AK. However, the BS rounds are still very broken. There's a bug right now, which is why BS rounds generally sell higher than Ekelnick. In fact, it's been around pretty much since the game's been out, where when you fire one bullet, it has a chance to hit twice. Kind of like you hitting that like button. There's a chance you're going to do it. That won't necessarily do it every time, but there is that chance. And then for the BS rounds, it's about 70% chance that it will shoot twice and only use one bullet. So keep that in mind over BT, which is your second best alternative here. Now, AKs are a lot harder to control, and without spending a decent amount of money, it's going to not necessarily be the best option here. And if you want something with extremely low recoil, switch it up to an MPX. They are phenomenal with recoil. But here you can see there's a few customizations you can do. It's going to cost probably another 15k total, but ultimately it's not a bad gun. It's just probably better than having a low recoil but no damage gun, such as the MPX, which does do damage. It's just not as high as a BS round would. Here you're going to have the VPO, which is my sniper pick, at least one of them. It's the cheaper of the two that I have here. You have this scope on it, which you can do iron sights if you prefer. This scope is one of my favorite because it has a reticle on the top and it's cheaper than most scopes. At least for the time when I made this video, they were selling for about 20 to 25k, making them extremely worth it. Once again, there's the reticle, there's your zoom. You can easily just zoom right in or switch to the reticle with ease. That scope, if you're trying to buy it, I can put it right here on the screen so that way you can easily find it. You can also see it in the customizations below. Here we have the Remington, which is actually cheaper than the Mosin, believe it or not. You put 5-10 round mag in there, and you can easily just one-tap kids all day long. Put a suppressor on it if you want. However, keep in mind if you're sniping, people are probably going to find you within a matter of seconds after you take your first shot without a suppressor. So if you're doing it without a suppressor, take off that armor and that the helmet, because you're pretty much showing everyone where you're at. Take your shot, move in a slightly different direction, take another shot if you need to. But the longer you're in a spot, the higher chance you're going to die. For shotguns, the Saga is by far the most undervalued gun. As you're going to see here, I can just sit here with the recoil and just keep tapping pretty much consistently and get to the same spot, even at a long range. And with that big of a drum, even if you're not able to accurately hit, you have so many bullets that it won't matter. You're going to land a few bullets in, if not multiple full rounds, which is I believe 10 per the flechette ammo here. Now here I'm going to show you, I'm shooting the corner, and you can just see how tight the circle is. It's pretty insane overall, considering how far range that is for a shotgun to have that small of a spread. Now the ones that I shot here on the side, I was kind of showing the range of it, but obviously it's a side angle, so your bullets are going to be more spread out. But here you can see, super tight for that far of a range, which is probably around 50 meters. You're not going to get much better than that. Now, you can always use your favorite ammo type and load it in the chamber to give you that initial burst of damage. That's always an option. All of these guns here are at extremely low price, as you're going to see, like 25k for the Saga, which is overpriced right now. Normally they're selling for like 18k normally. And then you get that round. It's going to be a game changer. I have killed full geared squads, which I'll leave a clip right here so you can see that just one round can just obliterate people. With the Remington, you have the alternative of a 10 round drum, which is actually quite nice, but it's not necessary. And you can always add extra ammo if you're not comfortable with using the best ammo. Just have, you know, an extra mag or two in your rig. Don't worry about it. Just take that ammo, put it in your gamma. So if you're using M61, put 20 rounds in your gamma. You can always pull them out if you get something that's worth putting in your gamma over it, but you don't have to sit in there. Same with the clips. If you want to just put your extra clips there and easily transition, that's fine. Keep in mind, if you're in an engagement, you run out of those 5 rounds, you're going to have to pull it out of your gamma, load it up to the gun, which could ultimately lead to your demise. So that's always something you have to be careful for. Here is an easy way to customize guns, edit them. You can just right click the item that you want and hit edit presets. If you've found that item at any point in time or identified that item or that modification, it will show up in that list, so you can easily figure out what will work with that gun and what will not. Then once you've customized it the way you want, you can hit assemble. It'll tell you if you don't have that particular item, and then you can just purchase it right from the auction house. What I will say is go ahead and disable barters and disable traders, because sometimes people are selling the items cheaper than what the traders have, which could save you to tens of thousands. So here you can see I can buy that easily and hit assemble. I'm good to go. That goes for any gun at all. Now, when it comes to the armor, I already show here what I have on. The comms or comm tacs, You can use any that you prefer. I went with the cheapest option. All of them have the same amount of volume to them. You can hear the same distance from them. It just changes the decibels. Not the decibel limit, but the bass in which you will hear. Some you'll hear more treble, others you're going to hear more bass. It comes to personal preference, and also going to obviously come to how much money you're willing to spend on it. Here I'm just showing some of the modifications I have on it. So you can see here, it's pretty cheap for almost every one of these weapons. The more you mod them, the more expensive they get. But as you get more and more money, highly recommend using the best rounds for it, for all of these guns. And when you start going in fully kitted, don't short yourself the ammo. Ammo is by far the most important part of this entire loadout. And that goes for every loadout, whether you're super stacked or you are just going in with the smaller gear. Once again, here's just a reminder of what the scope looks like, which is, like I said, pretty good scope overall. You don't have to use this one. You can use other ones, which you can show in that edit presets, and use whichever one you prefer. I want to talk a little bit about the armor here. The two sets of armor is 6B23, or you can do the Karasa. The other option is the SSH TAC 68, which is extremely good, and the Shattered Helmet, or face mask. If you have a Shattered face mask on, you're not going to be able to use the SSH, but it's still very good. Both of them have high ricochet chance, where the Shattered mask is for your covering your face instead of your head, so you'll have a better chance of not getting head-eyed. Both of them you can always get hit, it just has a higher ricochet chance, but they're very, very, very good for the amount of money you spend. You're still going to see high geared players using them because of that reason. Always use a contacts or some type of ears. I recommend it more than anything. That has given me an advantage over other players because I can hear them coming up on me, or I can hear them before I go into an area. Outside of that, that pretty much wraps up this video. If you need any help at all on something else, let me know in the comments below. If you're looking to make money without spending any money, do your scav runs. I have videos that I can post here, and they will help you out tremendously, showing you the best spots to loot with very limited risk of running into another player. I just did the series. There's the link here. Hopefully you guys were able to get some information out of here that will help you become a little bit more relaxed about going in with being geared, but not overly geared to where you won't make any money out. Remember, with all these runs, the first thing you're going to want to do is fill up that alpha, beta, or gamma container, so that way when you get out you can still vendor what you've obtained in raid, so you're not at a complete loss. Also remember, you can put ammo, meds, or any other item that you think could be useful in that particular map, so that way you don't have to risk losing it if it's in your bag. Like a key tool obviously is going to go there, but if you're an alpha player you still have 3 more slots, so put yourself an IFAK and a morphine or painkillers, and then you still have 1 more slot, and as you get a better item, go ahead and replace that slot with something a little bit better, like a scope or some sort of attachment that's going to vendor higher than a painkiller or a morphine would. If you enjoyed watching this video, if you don't mind hitting that sub button, it helps me out a lot, and it will also notify you next time I post a video, which I've been trying to do at least once a day, and every now and again with a little break, but for the most part consecutively every day. Also, that notification will send you an alert on the top right hand corner whenever I do post. Thank you again for watching. Have a great day, guys.